West Ham United, 17th in the Premier League, struggling to stay afloat, but today, that's all going to change. Welcome to Rebuilding West Ham in FM24, where over the next 10 years, we're tearing it all down and building a football dynasty from scratch. Think massive transfers, top wonder kids, silverware, and a complete transformation of the club you know today. And here's a little fun fact. West Ham are only one of only 8 clubs to never drop below the second tier of English football. But we're not just aiming to survive, we're here to win everything. Be sure to leave a little like on the video and subscribe, and if you're a West Ham fan, let me know what you think. Let's get into it. So then, we are taking charge of West Ham today, and this is going to be a 10-year project. Let me know what you prefer in the comments, 5 years or 10 years. For me, I'm honestly torn, so let me know what you think. But this is genuinely going to be quite an interesting one, because they're not enjoying a great season this year. It's no secret. They're 17th in the league, obviously really poor for West Ham standards. Now, inside of the game, we have got a lot going for us. Now, not only have we got a decent reputation, we've got good training, good youth facilities. The only bad thing is probably the youth recruitment is sitting at around about 2.5 stars, which of course we can aim to try and improve on. Now, one thing that I have noticed about this team is that there are areas of the team that do need to be improved, and one of the other real things that is a bit of an issue, there are a lot of older players. So you look at players that can be somewhat, classed as important. Fabianski, Creswell, Antonio. You've got the likes of Danny Ings, Soufal, Folkrug, Areola's even 30. Now, over a 10-year period, not a single one of these players is going to be at the club anymore. So you are going to see a complete overhaul by season 10 of a completely new look West Ham team. So it's going to be quite interesting. Now, to actually go over and show you a little bit more about West Ham, obviously we already know how big they are as a club. They have, of course, won the European Cup, 3 FA Cups, 1 Europa Conference League, you remember the Jarrah Bowen goal, 2 Sky Bet Championships, 1 English Community Shield, and 1 English Western League Premier Division. Now, of course, this I imagine was the up when they, of course, had the great finish in the Prem, and now it's down on a little bit of a spiral, whereas that's where we're going to come in and we're going to try and get things done. Now, in terms of the tactic, we are going to have some fun today. We are going to be using a 4-2-4, which is a bit interesting because it was deployed for a couple of reasons. The first one being, I can really push Paqueta up. Now, I like him. I think he's a great player, but I will also say this very early on to any West Ham fans watching. If he has a good couple of seasons and he gets to about 28, 29, and we see ridiculous offers coming in, 100, 120 million, I will sell him. I'm going to say it very early on. Of course, you got a very talented player in Mohamed Kudus, a great player from them, and I tell you what, he's only 22, so a player that most likely is going to be here for this entire rebuild, and if he isn't, at least for 7 or 8 seasons. Folkrug, I really enjoy as a player. He's not the quickest, he does work hard though, great finishing, great composure, but again, 30 years of age, probably have about 3 or 4 years with this man before we do move him on. The star man of West Ham, Jarrah Bowen, everybody loves him. Out of respect, I think I'm going to keep him here for the entire rebuild. He will be 36, so maybe he might be into a staff sort of role, but this guy has done so much for the club and just live and breathes West Ham. You then look to the midfield, you've got quite an old partnership of Rodriguez and James Ward-Prowse, a Premier League icon in terms of just everybody knows him, a very tough guy to dislike, to be honest, maybe unless you're a Southampton fan, but a great player, very good, of course, with the free kicks, which is going to be quite important for a team like us. And at the back, we've got some really good options. I really like what they've got going on. This is a man that I do want to bring in on the permanent, but of course that is budget relative. If we don't have the budget, we can't go and get him, but I'm hoping we've at least got around 30 million because this guy is one of the better centre-backs you can get in the game, so hopefully we can bring him in. Wan-Bissaka as a United fan is an interesting one to see. Still surprises me, he's still only 25. I thought he was a little bit older, but he looks very solid. Of course has, I believe, the best, if not up there with the best tackling in the game. You can't really get better, so a very strong option. And even on the bench, you've got the likes of Soufal, obviously on loan, you've got Soler, a bit of an interesting player, going to see what we can get out of him, to be honest. Somerville, remarkable player from Leeds, of course, a big move for him, a great player in my opinion. And then you look at other players like Alvarez, who, if I'm not mistaken, West Ham fans, was everything when he come in. As of recent times, is pretty 50-50. Let me know if I am wrong with that though. And this is the big one, Evan Ferguson, because he's either hot or he's cold in this game. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, give him a chance, but if he doesn't perform, I will not bring him in. Going over to what we're playing in now, we have got 4 competitions, so instantly the chance to win 4 trophies. Now, we're not going to win 4 trophies in Season 1. I do, however, think, with my tactics and this team and my set pieces, I think we can at least try and scrape easily a European place and maybe even have a good run in one of these competitions. But the game is predicting a finish of 9th place, which I think is pretty harsh. So let's get into Season 1 with this West Ham team. I know it's a unique position for Paqueta, but he can play there, as can Kudus, and let's see what we can do. This is a very, very strong season, okay? And I mean a very strong season, because we are going to be finishing in 3rd place, so we have got Champions League football regardless of how the other European competition went, and we've done this with 22 wins, 10 draws, and only 6 losses. Now, there's a lot of draws going in there, which is a little bit annoying, because there's also a lot of them that are 0-0s or 1-goal sort of games, where it's not good enough. I want to be scoring more. The tactic we're playing is actually very attacking, so surprises me there is as many low-scoring games. Volkrug is going to be your 3rd top Premier League goal scorer, which is a real big statement, and Ward-Prowse is going to be joint first with Marco coming in there with 16 assists, so a very, very strong display in that competition. And actually, this man here has done a lot better than what I thought. Now, he is actually also playing in a press and forward role, which he can do, and a lot of people might think, Josh, he's got 12 acceleration, 12 pace. A lot of people get confused with that because he has got the work rate and he's got decent stamina, so he can play that role more than capably, and he has obviously returned a ton of goals, 21 goals in 37 games, and also 5 assists, so a very strong performance, and that's in the Premier League alone. We also do find ourselves in a cup final, the FA Cup final, where unfortunately Mickey van der Ven is going to make it 1-0 to Tottenham. Of course, we face a London club, a lot on the line now, and it doesn't start well at all. As you can see, Spurs are really, really in control of this game with Sarr finding Maddison, and it's a great finish to make it 2-0. And the thing is, when you're 2-0 down in a final, anything can happen. And luckily for us, we sort of got our groove back a little bit. This was just before half-time as well, and it was a bit of a gift, some would say, to be honest with you. We get back into the game 2-1. Of course, they are now only leading by the 1 goal. But sadly for us, we were very stale in the second half. Tottenham are going to go through and make it 3-1. It's great play. I can't take any credit away from Ange there. Great play, great goal. They are going to have that second goal cushion again. And we are going to have a little fight back here with Nicholas Volkrug finding Kudus down the right-hand side, back into Ferguson. A little dodgy touch there. A couple of dodgy goals, to be honest, but we're going to take it. They've got the better team, and you know what? However the goals come, we are going to take, and especially when they come like this, because this goal right now is going to get us back into the game. Awful from Van der Ven, and Ferguson is going to make it 3-3, and we're now going to extra time, where unfortunately, Tottenham Hotspur go on to win it in the 105th minute, and it's one cracking set piece. We also are going to bail out very early in the Carabao Cup, this time against Leeds, 2-0, and to finish it off, a round of 16 exit in the Europa League, where Borussia Dortmund beat us by 2 goals. Now, they're no small team, they've got a very, very good manager, and I tell you what, they have got a very, very good team. And considering this is Season 1, I've had no signing of my own to sort of come into this team, I'm going to take top 4 and a cup final any day of the week. It's a really strong season where our players have delivered, especially this front two. If we go and have a look now, Jarrod Bowen actually being quite outperformed badly by his striker partner. Paqueta enjoyed a great season, so did Kudus. Obviously the midfielder's done quite a good job as well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is injured and out to 4 to 6 weeks, but did enjoy a good season. So even with a couple of big injuries in there, he's done a very good job. Ward-Prowse has come in and got 29 goal contributions, so a very strong season there. Evan Ferguson, 9 goals, which is decent for a loanee. Whether we bring him in permanently now is going to be up for debate, and whether he wants to, and whether Brighton even allow that to happen. 8-1 from Kilman from centre-half is really strong, and also Somerville. We're going to talk about this guy because I really like him. 1 goal and also 8 assists. Now, for me, for the next coming seasons, he's going to get game time. I never see him as an all-and-out first-team player. I think he's always going to be a bit of a backup vibe, but he can definitely stay in the team. One player that won't be staying here is going to be Carlos Soler, because he didn't even play that many games, and the games he did play in, he wasn't really that good. and he just doesn't really suit the system, so he is going to be offloaded. But apart from that, a really strong season, and I hope we can attract this guy. He is going to cost me a grand total of £34 million. Have we got 34 million? We have got more than that. We've got £75 million. Now, of course, we haven't got that total figure because we have got contracts that need to be addressed. Now, the likes of Fabianski, Creswell, Antonio, just 3 names are picked off there, they could all leave quite happily. So if they're fussy about a contract, the likes of Antonio I don't even really need, so I'll probably let him go, to be honest with you. But again, similar to the Wolves rebuild, we're quite blessed because the players that want to leave, they're more than welcome to. They don't really have me by anything. I'll sign better players, we've got the money to do that, and with 75 million, well, more if we're being honest, around about 62 after the wage split, we can go and sign definitely Tabio and maybe another player as well. The debts and loans are somewhat under control, so we can go have some fun. Right then, nobody wanted to actually sign Danny Ings, but for the better of his career and to help our wage budget, we loaned him out to Coventry. Now, he played a ton of games. He scored 10 goals and picked up 3 assists, but he's one of them players who has been about for so long, and this wasn't really a loan move where if he does well, he's going to come back and play. His career's done at West Ham. We just want to try and sell him. 4.5 million, we are going to sell Soufal. He is going to go to Brighton, so it's a good move for him. We recover a total of 3.6 million. He's been at West Ham for quite a fair amount of years now, of course coming from Slavia Prague. He's just a right back who I don't really think's got much of a future at this club. We've got Wan-Bissaka as first team. When he starts to decline or gets older, Soufal's not going to have any shout anyway because he's older than Wan-Bissaka, so it makes sense to offload him and get some of the wage back. Again, a player that I liked from his Ipswich Town days is going to be Aaron Creswell. He's 35 years of age. Again, not going to get much game time. He goes to Stoke, plays 23 games, a decent return in terms of average rating, and it's one of them where these moves are more to try and make them look good so someone will buy them. He's not going to get game time under us. We're also going to offload Sean Moore. He is going to go for a total of £7 million to Brentford. Again, a player which, to be fair, has got some potential, but just under this system, he's not going to get a look in. So I thought it was better for him to go. And signing one is going to be Tabio. He is going to come in for a grand total of £34.5 million. He has a great season with us, 36 appearances, 3 goals, and drops a 6.81 average rating. He is by far our best centre-back, and a centre-back that can play for us for another 5, 6, potentially 7 years. It was an obvious shout. Now, unfortunately, the board, when I was simming past this transfer, also went and signed Soler, which I wasn't going to do, and after that transfer went through as well, I was spent up. No more transfers are going to come in. This guy comes in and only plays 4 games. He's a signing that I'm going to try and flip and try and earn a bit of money from because I didn't even really want him. So that was a little bit of a mishap from the board, that was. Apart from that, no other outgoings. You can see a couple other players there. No real big names. So a grand total of £42.5 million spent, but we generated £12.5 million, so really only spending about £30 million, and we had a budget of like double that. So we've done very sensibly well, where we have brought in a really good centre-back on the permanent, but I'm thinking it, I know you're thinking it back home as well, Josh, you've got no extra players and you've lost some. And you're right, it's going to be an interesting second season. Luckily for us, we hold on to a top 4. Now, the only positive to doing what we've just done and not bringing in loads and loads of new players is it gives the chance for like Volkrug to go and carry on that blister and form. 18 goals, 4th top goal scorer is absolutely incredible. Apart from that, no one really else in the stat lines. I tell you what though, Rasmus Højlund's firing, so any United fans, you want that version of him. But it is good to see Volkrug doing his thing because I've always got a thing for these sort of older players which not many people like. Your Dzekos, them sort of characters, you know, these sort of people I like because they get the job done, they score goals, and to be in the top 4 again back-to-back seasons is very, very strong. But we're off to Wembley now against Man City in the Carabao Cup final, and it is a great penalty from Volkrug to make it 1-0 inside of 13 minutes, and we go again with the amazing set pieces we've got, and it is going to be the man we've been talking about, Volkrug, making it 2-0 very early on, and we actually lead at Wembley 3-0 against Manchester City with a great build-up goal here with Paqueta finding Ward-Prowse, and that is a serious strike into the bottom right-hand corner. Now, Man City are not a joke, okay? When they get one goal, they can go and get 4 goals. That's how it goes. They can go and get goals for absolute fun. And when you're given the ball away, as we're about to right here, which is ridiculous, by the way, should never be happening, they are going to go and get another goal. But luckily for us, that's all they've done. We're going to be Carabao Cup winners. That is right, we are going to win the Carabao Cup in our second season over Man City, just by a goal, which I will not complain about at all. Niklas Volkrug, again, being the top goal scorer. Apart from that, the other competitions, the 5th round is going to be our sort of final destination in the FA Cup against a very, very good Manchester United team, who have now got Zinedine Zidane in charge. So a very, very strong manager right there. And the Champions League, you know, we lose against Copenhagen, which is, I don't think, acceptable, because I think our team is even definitely better on paper, so a little bit annoying there. But to be honest, it's a top 4 finish again. We've won our first trophy. The budget's looking more than friendly. We've got a total of 67 million. We can go and now sign players on top of your Tobios and your Solairs. We can really go and strengthen, and looking at the team right now, it's a very similar story. The only thing which I thought he would be doing better is Jared Bowen. I've played him up front a lot in tactic testing and in other rebuilds, and I really like him out there. Now, the game is also sometimes playing him on the right, so it's not really probably a fair judgment because I'm not locking him in. But still, 9 goals, 16 assists is very strong. Volkrug is just doing abnormal things. 27 goals, 5 assists, 19 goal contributions from Paqueta, and we got 26 from Kudus. It is absolutely ridiculous. Ward-Prowse is having a great time from DM, despite not being a first-team player when you filter by the best 11. 10 goals from Antonio as well in his last season, so we will say thank you. It's a big send-off season. He has played a load of games for West Ham, always had his entire career in England, and he's going to sign out, and that is going to be him done. Somerville, 11 and 7, being that really consistent bench player, and Kurt Zuma with 8 goal contributions as well. So again, the one thing you're probably seeing as well as I am at the moment, our team is incredibly small. We do need to seriously get some fresh legs in, and to do that we have obviously got a good budget, nearly 70 million. The debts and loans are also coming down, so we can go into the next season and of course strengthen, but we're also at a stage now where it's just about getting bodies into the club, so let's go and make it happen. Right then, we're having a Pep Guardiola window. That means a wing-back window, a full-back window, whatever you want to say. And the first player is going to be Ian Matson coming in from Aston Villa for 27 million, which is a lot of money to spend, by the way, on a wing-back in this current day, in this team. Let's just say that. A 6.88 average rating, 4 assists, and a player who I'm going to confidently say will be in this team for the entire rebuild. He's rapid, got great stamina, great work rate, can cross the ball, good tackling. He's pretty much the entire package. So a bit of competition for Wan-Bissaka. That is going to be Sacha Boey, of course, a player that can also play left back. So we thought of that one quite smartly, just to add more options to the back line. He is just an incredible wing-back. He's quick, he's got great balance, great stamina, great just everything. Aggression, concentration, marking, tackling. He did cost me a fair price of 35 million. 7 goal contributions for a right-back is not half bad, and that tells me that he has come right in and kicked Wan-Bissaka out of the team, which wasn't the intention, but it's fair game. We don't lock in players, especially 25-year-old players. Wonder kids, maybe we will, but Sacha Boey can go toe-to-toe with Wan-Bissaka. Healthy competition. And we spend 63 million on wing-backs alone this window, because this is why I do 10 years. When you do a 10-year rebuild, you can really look at each individual part of an 11 and say, this season, defence. This season, midfield. Some seasons it's a mixture. This season, just the wing-backs. Maybe that wasn't the right choice, because we are going to finish in 7th. Our worst finish yet by quite some distance. We are out of the top 4, and I'm going to say it quite bluntly, but we're nowhere near the top 4 either. 62 points is still quite good for us, but miles off the top 4. Tottenham win the Premier League, Arsenal in 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, City in 4th, and this is the first season since we've been playing where we have not got a single player in the stat line. So that goes to show, you don't have the players in the stat lines, you're not really going to get that far. And this is a season where we've done better, you know, getting rid of some of them draws, but sadly they turned into losses losses. A 6-0 loss there to Leicester, 4-0 to Brentford, 3-0 to United. Some absolute humiliation games there. That is an awful season in the Prem based off our current standard. Overall, not awful. For us, not ideal. And money-wise, that will have a bit of an effect, because sometimes in West Ham's sort of rebuild history we've done on the channel, you'll get a 90 million in your fourth season. We're now getting 73, which is very generous considering when I show you what happened next, we didn't win anything. Quarter-final exit in the Carabao Cup. We are going to go out against Liverpool, which is fair game. They're a great team. The 4th round in the FA Cup against Newcastle, a team that probably is equal to us in terms of team on paper, if not maybe a little bit better. And of course, the Champions League isn't actually horrific, because we did progress. We did get to the quarterfinals, and unfortunately Marseille, I imagine, still led by De Zerbi, he's going to be able to knock us out. So not ideal at all. And if we go through the round of 16, we can beat teams like Bayern, so there's no excuse to not go and beat Marseille, although they beat Inter Milan, so they might be the real deal. Did they go on to actually do anything? They got slaughtered in the semi-finals, so that's their time up as well. We topped the charts, by the way. I nearly forgot to mention that. Invincible in the Champions League phase, beating teams like Young Boys, AC Milan, Salzburg, Tottenham, Inter Milan, PSV, and drawing against 2 teams that we probably should have beat compared to the teams that we did actually beat. So it's a mixture of emotion this season, because it's really not strong in the Premier League, but we are now playing, as you can see here, in the Conference League, which I think we can go and win. So it should be, I'm going to say it, and I might curse myself, a guaranteed European trophy. I think the team's going to get it done. And as I said, in terms of players, we did only lock in the wing-backs, and Matsson's injured 5 to 8 days. Sacha Bowie had a pretty decent season. But you look at the 11, there is a serious drop-off from the goal outputs. So that's exactly the issue. So pretty obvious now, we've got to go and sign some attack and talent. Let's get into it. Right, we've got him back, because to be fair, he does look very, very good. And I tell you what, he has been cooking for Brighton. He comes in and plays 28 games. So not every game. He picked up a little knock towards the middle of the season. 15 goals, 1 assist, a great average rating return. Yes, he's 41 million, but honestly, he's still 22. He's got 16 acceleration, great jumping, great pace, great stamina, great strength. He can finish for absolute fun. And also, he was interested in coming. So we've got a keen striker, a young striker, an elite striker, all for about 40 million. His money per week, I personally think, isn't that bad either. And we've got a player here easily for the end of this rebuild. Welcome in to Evan Ferguson. This is a luxury signing. The man on the thumbnail is going to be Karim Adeyemi, coming in for a total of 87 million, 34 games, 14 goals, 6 assists, 5 player of the matches, and a great average rating return. This is a player that really can get the job done. 25 years of age, and again, you partner him with Evan Ferguson. Now, the great thing about Adeyemi is he can also play on the left and the right. So we've got a situation here where we have got a player that not only plays up front, we've got a player that covers 3 areas. He's 25, so still quite young. And we have strengthened our attack. Yes, it's a 128 mil window. Yes, there are installments being made, but our attack has gone from here to up here, and hopefully the results are going to follow. And the only player that we lose is going to be this lad on the free. Again, not really a big loss. Well then, the Europa League final, not the Conference League, Europa League final against Newcastle. The trophy that I said was going to be easy to win is apparently not going to be that easy to win, as we are going to go 1-0 down inside of 1 minute, which is not a good start against a Newcastle team with ridiculous talent, and also signed players like Nonto, a real big improvement there, and they're going to find themselves actually 2-0 up from a great goal from Firmin there inside of 41 minutes. And the next goal was really, really important, and very similar to that City game at the start. We do find it. Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand side, plenty of space, a great ball in, and it is going to be none other than Volkrug stepping up for the big cup final, and that is going to be a semi back into the game. And I tell you what, this was where I actually sort of thought, do you know what, this is why we're going to win the cup. And goals like that, getting back into the game, keeping your heads up, right back into the game, and the secret is, it wasn't enough. We are going to go and lose another cup final in heartbreaking fashion. This time, a goal from Nonto in the last kick of the game. And it's also another cup final loss, this time against City again. I semi-understand losing against City because their team, I can only imagine, is incredible. Pep Guardiola's still going to be in charge, of course. They've got a ridiculous team. I mean, they've got Mbappe in there, Inacio. They've got ridiculous players all over the pitch. They've signed Tomiyasu. They've signed some really strong players. So that cup final is more than acceptable. The one against Newcastle, I thought we could be improving on. In terms of the actual Premier League, it's a 5th place finish. This is very annoying. The FA Cup is going to be a very early exit on penalties against Norwich City. But in terms of the Premier League, we are working our way back up towards the top 4. Only 1 point from being in that top 4. And we do get another run at the Europa League. In terms of player stats, the only players that are going to be contributing are going to be Jarrod Bowen and Ward-Prowse, joint second with a Leicester player behind Savinho. And also we are going to see Adeyemi as your 3rd top average rating. So it's definitely an improvement in terms of the season. We look at the homepage, we are the best in the league at scoring goals. So when you actually look at this attack now, Adeyemi, Kudus, Ferguson, Jarrod Bowen. It's a very strong lineup where we're seeing 3 players score above 20 goals. In fact, 4 players. Volkrug down here, 26 and 7. Ward-Prowse, 17 assists. Somerville, 7 and 7, still going strong. Wan-Bissaka, 6 assists. Sasha Bowie, 9. Maatsen, 11. We are putting up the stat lines in terms of attacking. But defensively, we do need to improve because we are 8th best and we finish 5th. If we can improve defensively a little bit, I think we can easily get back up into that top 4 and go for a push. So it's not a bad season, but it's also not a great season. In terms of money, it's a great season. We've got a total of 105 million to go and spend. The debts and loans are practically cleared up, and it becomes even more obvious now we need to either invest in DMs or maybe new goalkeeper. New goalkeeper maybe, because I've just looked at that actually. Areola is a good Sky Bet Championship player. He's 34. I think it's time for a new goalkeeper. I've made a decision to cash in on Emerson because he's 33 years of age and the offer we got from Leeds was actually quite generous. £11 million, and they played him 3 times. It's awful business from Leeds. He was slowly getting less and less game time, although he played a bit more this season, I suppose. But he's basically at the end of his career, and I thought, do you know what? We're only going to take a total of what? About a £5 million loss? I never thought we'd get 11 million. I had to accept it. 3.5 million, a bit of a West Ham, I don't want to say legend, but very valued at West Ham, is going to be Thomas Souček. Again, very similar to Emerson, at the older stage of his career now. We do recover 3.5 million. He's had a ton of time at West Ham and helped him achieve some pretty big things. But as you can see, not much really going on in terms of game time. We had to offload him. And to replace him, we've brought in a bit of a hybrid of a DM and also a centre-back in Bamba. Now, he comes in for a total of 34 million. He is going to get a lot of game time because he can play DM and also centre-back. 4 goals, 6 assists, which tells me he might have been playing DM more, to be honest. He can play both really well. He's got the passing to play DM and also obviously centre-back, the tackling to do both, the pace to do both. He's got good work rate, good stamina. He's a really versatile player. He is 26, so, you know, not old, but definitely on the older side, but a bit of experience, previously a Liverpool in this save. I thought it made pretty big sense. And to finish off the window, we are also going to welcome in Zabrani, a big expensive player, £70 million to be exact. A load of games played, a good average rating, and a bit of a banker, a bit of a go-to signing. You know he's going to work. He's got Premier League experience. He's 25, so again, you know, 7 years in him, maybe 8 at a push. A very long-term signing, and I just think the addition of him and also Bamba, you've got arguably 2 centre-backs, and we got 1 guaranteed centre-back, and then 1 centre-back come DM. Surely that has got to improve the backline. Well, I am hoping this is just an off game because we're going to be beaten by Carlisle in the Carabao Cup. If the season's gone like this, it's not going to be good. The other English Cup final didn't go like that, and we are going to be in a final against City where hopefully we can beat them. That is a good way to start there. Adeyemi there using his pace, and that is exactly why you spend the big bucks on him, because he can do stuff like that. He can destroy entire defences, and that is a great goal from Alvarez to go 2-0 up. And we go on to actually lift the FA Cup over Man City with Gilherme finding Bowie, a great direct ball in. Awful from their goalkeeper, and Paqueta gets a very important goal. We also are on for hopefully a decent run in the Champions League once again. Considering we're beating Barcelona in the round of 16, it shows we can go toe-to-toe with pretty much anybody, as in the quarterfinals, we get a bit of an easier fixture, FC Porto, 8-0 over 2 legs. The semi-final, we are going to beat Aston Villa 4-2, meaning we're actually going to face up against United in a Champions League final. And this is no slander to United because I support them, but that's a team I think we can beat. You couldn't really write who got the Champions League winning goal for us. It's going to be the new man, as you can see, any second, Evan Ferguson, Champions League winners in Season 5. We also go on to lift the Premier League, and this is really the Evan Ferguson effect, really coming in strong. He's taken to the team very well. 26 goals, Jarrod Bowen enjoying his best season with 22, Adeyemi, Ferguson and Bowen your top 3 average ratings. Adeyemi also the most assists, and we only lost 3 games, and those are against teams which, to be fair, Everton had a great season with United, so that's more than fine. The fact we have won the Premier League, the Champions League and the FA Cup, we have done the treble. So the next big task is, can we go after that quadruple? That is obviously the next thing you go after. Now, in terms of the club info, the reputation is now maxed out all the way to 5 stars. And I tell you what, money-wise, we are going to have quite a fair budget of 138 million. Now, it's justified. We've won pretty much everything. The debts and loans are practically clear. And I look at the team right now, and it's making a lot of sense to why we're doing what we're doing. This front 4 we're building is ridiculous. Kudus, 26 goal contributions, 23 and 22 from Adeyemi, Ferguson 45 and 14, and Jarrod Bowen really getting used to it now, 34 and 17. A very strong season. Bamba had a great time. Volkrug still scored 10. Paqueta, 22 goal contributions off the bench, very strong. Somerville, a bit of a quieter season with just the 9 goal contributions, and I believe asking to actually leave. So we're going to try and just give him a new contract, maybe a little bit more money, and make him happy with being a squad player, because I do like him. I want to keep him, but I do also understand that he could probably go to a bit of a smaller club now and get guaranteed game time. So we'll see what happens with him. A lot of these players are going to be here for the foreseeable future, though. Apart from Areola, no shade to him, but he's probably the one part of this team where you look at and you go, why is he here? Because the players around him are performing really well, and I'm not saying he's not, but we've got to be realistic, guys. He's 35, he's going downhill. We've got to get a new goalkeeper in. But as I said, 138 million. I think we can get a goalkeeper for that. And it is finally going to be time to sell Kurt Zouma. 34 years of age, and considering we're going to generate £9 million, it's nowhere near what we paid for him from Chelsea. But at the end of the day, it's better than nothing. He goes to the Saudi League, and do you know what? He's a player who isn't even that bad still, but he's getting on, and I think it's a bit of a smart move to free up the wage and bring in someone younger. We finally offload Carlos Soler. Now, this player, nothing against him. He just doesn't work in this tactic. He didn't really do anything for us. It was a pointless signing that the board made. And he actually played, over the past 2 years, he's played 6 games. Nothing against him. Just doesn't work in my team. You're also going to generate some money here for a player that I'm not going to try and say the name because I will absolutely butcher. He goes for 1.6 million and instantly gets loaned out to QPR. Debatable one, but he has had a bit of a ropey couple of seasons now. Wan-Bissaka is going to be sold to Fulham for 34 million. So we actually generate a lot of money. Sorry, not recover. A lot of money. He has a great season at Fulham, to be fair to him, but the games he was playing was going down every single year. He still is a very good player, but we can spend that money now to bring in a better right back, and we definitely done that. So signer number 1 is going to be Coyote. He's going to come in from Fiorentina for a total of £59 million. Now don't forget, we had a serious budget to play with and also generated around 50 million from player sales. So a lot of money to go and spend, and when you can spend money sensibly like this on a right back which will easily see us through this rebuild, he is ridiculous. One of my favourite players to sign. He's quick, got great work rate, great stamina, good crossing, good tackling. He's also developed very well. It's a no-brainer to bring him in. £53 million, we are going to add another player to the roster, another winger to the roster in Jeremy Doku. He's a very good player because he can play on the left, up front and on the right. He is 27, so a bit older, but that doesn't mean a bad thing. He's had a very strong couple of seasons here. 3 seasons of being very strong where he was not obtainable. This season here, he's been a little bit unconfident, so it was the perfect time to swoop in and grab him. 45 million, I think, is a good signing, and a player that I think is a bit more likely to keep up this consistent trophy winning spree because he's played for City. And our goalkeeper, and it is going to be Dennis Seaman, coming in from Stuttgart for a total of 77 million. So a lot of money, but to be fair, you spend money, you get good players. 7.11 average rating, 21 clean sheets in 38 games. His first season, not only at West Ham, but in England. That's a very strong performance. A player that I'm very 50-50 with on this game, but I always see him in the comments. Why would you get rid of him? Why would you not sign him? Nelson Viper is going to come in for a total of 23 million. He is purely a backup, so we're not going to judge him off that purely. But in the 18 games he come on, didn't do too much, but I'm going to trust my audience on that one. On the free, we are going to get one for the future in Malcolm Boxall. Now, this is a player who probably won't even be in the first team, but in the under-21s, we'll keep an eye on him, see what happens, and even if we just develop him and then sell him, he didn't cost me a penny, and he's on 34k a week. And lastly, it is going to be Thomas Araujo coming in for £50 million, so quite a fair bit of money being spent for another centre-back, but do you know what? He comes in, does his job well. He's not going to be a first-team centre-back, but he is more than what I like to call a backup. He's a rotation. And our first chance to win the UEFA Super Cup against Napoli, so quite a tough team, or is it? A great set piece there from Doku, a great impact to the team. As Jarrod Bowen goes down the left-hand side, plenty of space here to maybe cut it back. He does do into Bamba, who's maybe he's going to go alone. He doesn't. It's going to be the other new man, Jeremy Doku, again, an assist and a goal in a cup final in his first real competitive game. So fair play to him there, as Coyote is going to go through another new signing into Kudus. Should have been a penalty, and I believe, Ferguson's claiming that one. We also do lift the Community Shield, so both of the pre-season sort of trophies, the Super Cup and the Community Shield, that's 2 trophies before we've actually really started the season. It's going to be another FA Cup final and another final against Man City, and this time they are going to have the first laugh because they've signed Pavlovic and Mbappe. I mean, the team is absolutely ridiculous. It's a great goal to go 1-0 up, but we're not going to give up right now, and this is something which you don't always see from a City defender, but Scalvini, another new signing, is going to give it away, and we're going to get right back into the game inside of the 54th minute, and we've built up this momentum now. When we do get firing, we get firing, and we go on to win another FA Cup final and another one against City, another defensive error. Clearly not enough money spent for them. And this is unbelievable because we're actually going to go and win the Champions League back-to-back now, which was not on my list at all to do. A very, very strong time, and we beat some big teams. PSG 4-0, probably one of the hardest teams you can play. We actually go to beat Arsenal 8-2, which is ridiculous. The round of 16, 3-2 over Bayern. We didn't have an easy run to the final, and we got the job done. Carabao Cup, we're going to win over Chelsea. So far, we have won absolutely everything apart from the Premier League, which would have topped off literally what I would describe as a perfect season. We are going to be a fair few points behind United, who are absolutely flying under Zidane, so fair play to him. I'm not going to critique him at all. Evan Ferguson, 34 goals. Bowen, 22. 3 players in the average rating. A good amount of clean sheets from Dennis Seaman, actually dominating that stat line, to be honest. And Doku enjoying a great time as well. So as the season goes, it's ridiculous. I mean, 1 trophy, 2 trophy, 3 trophy, 5 trophies in one season. It would have been the perfect season if we won the Prem. So at least we've still got something to go for. But that is as good as it almost gets. A great time there. And this trophy cabinet over at West Ham needs expanding because the arrow can't actually go any more up. There is so many more trophies being put into this club. And with stats like this is why. 69 goals from Ferguson, 13 assists. 24 and 28 from Doku, Kudus 14 and 6, Bamba even with 16, 29 for Bowen, 7 and 20 from Ward-Prowse, who is a man who is now 34 years of age, doing incredible. Viper 9 and 5, Somerville is going to be here with 1 goal. I think sadly his time might be coming up, which I don't like to say, but we've got so many good attacking players in this team right now, he might not get a look in, because you look at the wingers, you've got Doku, Kudus, of course Bowen can also play there, Adeyemi, then it is your sort of Somerville's, but it depends how much game time he actually gets to how well he does, and we're at a sort of point now where we're in 2029, you've got good regens coming in, we've got a big budget of 152 million, we might sign another winger. So if we do, Somerville will be put on that transfer list. But looking at this team, there's not really a weak part in my opinion. I mean, you've got Seaman, Coyote, Zabrani, Tabio, Matson, Bamba, maybe Alvarez. I mean, he is, 31 years of age? Maybe you improve that position. But apart from that, I don't really think you do much else. I think from this point on, you sign for the future. And maybe that future might be sort of for the future, but also a pre-built wonder kid. Or you sign people that need to be in the under-21s for a bit and build up from there. It's one of them. Right then, for £62 million, we are going to bring in another centre-back in Giancarlo Simic, coming in from Borussia Dortmund for £62 million. He plays 36 games, and to be honest, was not brought in to start a lot of games, but he comes in, and like I say in all my rebuilds, it's a fair fight for my players. They get easily a chance to battle against each other and prove why they should be in the team. If he's playing well, he can stay in the team. So this was actually a backup player, now becomes first team. A player that you will probably see me sign a lot, and I won't stop signing him, is going to be Aaron Hickey. Now, you always spend a lot of money, £53 million. He plays a ton of games and drops a 7.17. And I signed this guy now for about 3 or 4 reasons. Reason 1 is, firstly, he's versatile. Left back and right back. Second, what he's done in the past for me, he's a go-to. And third, he always comes in as a backup and always boots someone out of the team. He is that good. He always comes in and dominates his position, plays there all the time. And for us this season, it was actually right back where he got a lot of time. Lastly, a player that I watch quite a fair bit in real life, I do like my German football, that is going to be none other than Hugo Larsson. From Frankfurt for a total of 65 million, quite a fair bit to pay for him in my opinion. And he doesn't really do too much in terms of the returns, the goals, the assists, but he comes in and has a pretty steady first season. He's still only 25. He has never played in England before, but he's actually got something that I quite need in midfield, a bit of pace, a bit of liveliness, and he has got the work rate and great stamina. So he's a player that I can work with, and hopefully bit by bit he can get more and more game time and just start to contribute a little bit more. It's going to be back-to-back UEFA Super Cups. That is right, a 3-1 win over Tottenham. Not too bad. Community Shield, a 5-3 win over Manchester United. That is now back-to-back times we have won everything pre-season. Can't really go wrong. Another Champions League final and a chance to win 3 Champions Leagues back-to-back. And against United, I feel like we can potentially do it. Because despite conceding this goal against Rashford, which was quite a well-constructed goal, when you have got the players we have on this team and making mistakes like that, which you're about to see from Kobbie Mainoo, it can't happen. Evan Ferguson is going to go through and get us back into the game. And it is from this point onwards, I knew it was going to happen. Because genuinely, whenever we go a goal down, we get back into the game, we always go on to win the game. It's a really strong momentum swing. Doku puts another ball in, Evan Ferguson gets his second before half time, and we've actually got time to go and score another goal and win our 3rd Champions League back-to-back, and this time it's going to be none other than the hat-trick hero himself, Evan Ferguson again. Carabao Cup didn't go that well though, because we are going to lose to Southampton actually on penalties, so not everything's looking all good, but we do take home the FA Cup and the Premier League, where the Premier League, Evan Ferguson is just, he might be the best striker in the game now. He is absolutely ridiculous, and I tell you what, the price tag we paid for him in 41 million, he has returned so many goals. We blistered the Premier League, a serious amount of points advantage, and I tell you what, we have got all 4 players in the assists, so no wonder why Ferguson is scoring over double compared to Rasmus Højlund. And we've done it again. We have won a total of 5 trophies, so we're literally this close to winning or doing the perfect season, winning everything. Premier League, Champions League, Super Cup, FA Cup, Community Shield. If we would have won the Carabao Cup, there'd be an argument to carry on the rebuild. There'd be no point really, but the rules are rules. 10 years, we see what we can win. But honestly, we're not putting a foot wrong right now, and the players are doing such a good job. I mean, this front line, Evan Ferguson putting up close to Haaland numbers. Really, really ridiculous stuff. Great from Bowen, great from Doku, great from Kudus. 28 goal contributions from Adeyemi, a player that I feel like we've not even really talked about recently. So let's go and talk about him, because he has not been doing too bad at all. He's been enjoying some great football. The same can be said about Ward-Prowse. He is now, He is 35 with 25 assists in a season. Viper with 18 goals. I'm not being funny, people. We have got players who aren't even playing that many games and scoring 15 goals a season. This is by far one of the better tactics I think I've made. A very strong tactic. Yes, it's a pretty basic 4-2-4, but it's getting the job done. And I don't know where we're going to spend it, but we have got a total budget of £190 million to go and spend. A bit more on the net debt, so maybe I'll be a little bit calm, but that might change when I see a great regen come through. But where do you strengthen? I mean, looking at the team, we're the best at scoring, the third best when it comes to conceding. So an argument, maybe centre-backs. I mean, these are good centre-backs, Tabio and Zabrani. Backups, you have got Simic, Araujo, Kilman, and this lad are probably going to be sold. Maybe a centre-back? It's going to be tough. Just for a bit of a backup goalkeeper option, we are going to welcome in Mads Hermansen, coming in from Leicester. Now, he was quite expensive because he's a Premier League goalkeeper, and he only plays 10 games, but this is exactly what I want. I want a goalkeeper that is really good because we play a lot of games in all the competitions we're in, and we need a good goalkeeper to turn to, and this guy is that choice. Big signing, 87 million. We are going to welcome in Mark Bernal. Now, he comes in, as I said, for 87 million. He plays a ton of games and also scores a lot more goals than what he usually does. Usually he's a sort of assist machine, but no disrespect to this guy, I sort of want him to be a Ward-Prowse regen. I want him to be a deep line playmaker that we've now got actually in the tactic, and he wants to sit deep and just play make, which is exactly what Ward-Prowse is doing. So this guy is going to be the decision for that. I don't want to compare him to Ward-Prowse because I know his ceiling's a lot higher than Ward-Prowse, but it's the best way I can really describe it. Different trophy, I guess. We are going to win the Friendly Cup. Probably not very interesting, but we'll take it. To win the Premier League for the first time in back-to-back seasons, meaning that is now a total of 3 Premier League titles, 111 goal difference, over 100 points, and it is once again the Evan Ferguson and Jarrod Bowen show. Dennis Seaman, second most clean sheets, Jeremy Doku, Bowen, Matson in the assists. I mean, when you look at the players we have got, it's actually quite hard to see how we won't win a Premier League. But a lot more negatives to talk about this season, as we do fail to win the FA Cup, which, you know, is fine. We've won it quite a fair bit. This time, actually Arsenal get the one up. And the Carabao Cup, again, another English trophy that we seem to be winning a lot recently. We are going to lose. This time, United get the one up. The Super Cup we are going to win again, and it will come as no surprise. Also won the Community Shield back-to-back, so that is now 3 seasons of back-to-back winning everything pre-season. So these trophies now are getting a little bit repetitive, but I'm not going to purposely lose them. We'll take them, and we'll move on. I can't quite believe what I've seen here because we have won the Champions League again. Now, this is history for me. This is history for the channel, history for the tactic channel, my main channel, because this is a tactic that has now won the Champions League 4 years back to back. Yes, 2 of them are against United, which, to be honest, isn't even that big anymore because they are actually a really good team in this save. That is going to be another Champions League win, 4 times on the bounce. So, despite not winning the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, we are absolutely flying. Still absolutely flying. The finances are getting ridiculous now. £210 million to go and spend. The debts and loans have come down a little bit, but this money, once again, I keep sounding like a broken record. It is all about now signing these regens, the new gens that come in. So not much to talk about because we've got no real issues. As a team, we are the best at conceding goals and the best at scoring goals. The overall team stats, the best at shots, possession, we're not half bad either. We're doing everything pretty much perfect. But I always find a regen, don't I? And honestly, this striker is ridiculous, okay? Raul Rizza coming in for 80 million, 30 goals in his first season for us. Now, he has played at some pretty big teams, considering he is only, 24? The guy is up there with the best striker regen I have seen. He is rapid, 16 composure, great decision making, good leadership, good finishing, good dribbling. He's got pace. He has got everything you would ever want in a forward player. And you've now got him and you've got Evan Ferguson up front. I don't think we're going to lose a single game. And to strengthen the backline a little bit more, a very versatile 23-year-old coming in, and I tell you what, he cost me not that much, to be honest. 36 million for a player that instantly jumps in the team. He was locked in, I will say that right away, as was the new striker, to really kickstart their careers. He's an elite centre-back who just does everything really, really well. He's got the pace, he's got the exhilaration, the stamina, the tackling, the determination, the bravery. He is what you want from a centre-back, and the fact he can also play right-back is nothing but a bonus. If you cast your memory back to our first cup final, I believe, of the video, we played Newcastle and we lost. We've got a chance to redeem ourselves and take one off them now. And I tell you what, it's a very scrappy goal to go 1-0 up, but I'm going to take it, considering it's a bit of a grudge match. But they've still got Isaac. Somehow they've still got him, and he's going to tie it up in the 48th minute. But just as they done to me, we are going to go and get our very long-term revenge. About 8 seasons later, we are going to win it with our new striker in the 91st minute. The Champions League, our run finally comes to an end, but it's going to be another final, and I tell you what, this is by far the best Champions League display I have ever seen in a rebuild. Premier League surprises me because I thought we weren't going to lose a game. I said it quite confidently, but we don't even win the Premier League. Manchester United have built an absolute powerhouse team. Still got Zidane in charge, and they have got Profundi up front, Garnacho. I guarantee some really strong regen players. So we are going toe-to-toe with them in the league, and we have got 55 goals from our 2 strikers in the league alone. The most clean sheets, the most assists, and it still isn't enough. On top of this, we are going to go over, and of course, as I said, the FA Cup. We did win over Newcastle, as I show you. We do this again, the Community Shield, a 3-2 win over Arsenal, and this one against Besiktas. So that's getting quite repetitive now. The Carabao Cup, we do lose against Manchester United in the final. So United are becoming a little bit of a problem, it seems. But once again, we've won so many trophies, I'm not really going to query one off-season, if you call it an off-season. And going into the club info, all I'm going to say is, look, the trophy cabinet is nearly off the screen. We are doing such a good job. The team we've built, this new man up front. The question is, by the way, before we just go a little bit further, do these players get into the best team now? Best 11, they do. He stays in. So that's really good to see. That is why I lock them in, just to really give them a chance to get into the team. You have got Raul Rizza there, 54-9, 49-15 from Ferguson. Doku, it's his best season yet, let's put it that way. Kudus is still in the team, 14-21, doing his thing. He might be replaced in the last season, as a little heads up. You've got Bernal doing his thing, Larson doing his thing, Matson, 19 assists, Hickey, 11, who is now wanted by a couple of interesting teams. The bench is a little bit more quiet because our first team has just been firing, but they are still playing a big role. The likes of Paqueta, Adeyemi, Coyote, they're actually all wanted. Probably all by Saudi teams, which is going to be difficult to keep them. But we can go into what I believe might be our last season next. That has gone by quite quickly because we've been having such a great time, and we've got a budget of £196 million to spend and practically no net debt. Now, the only player that, or the only players that I think I will ever consider getting at this point would be more players like Rizza, these new regen players that you can use when you carry on the save and are fun for you back home. So let's go and see what we can do. Well, he has had a great time at the club, and the only player that I couldn't keep at the club is going to be Lucas Paqueta. Now, I will be honest with you, he did start off really hot for us, but these past couple of seasons, he's been going down and down and down and down, and we're finally going to cash in. We get 5 million back, but nothing but love for the guy. And with our big budget, we have decided to go and spend a bit of money on, let's just say, a very, very good centre-back coming in from Liverpool again for £123 million. Now, I'll be honest with you, it is way too much compared to what he's actually worth, but when we've got the money there, I'm going to spend it on improving the team. Now, this guy instantly got into the first team, and you put him alongside of the other centre-back we've got. The other centre-back has got the pace, this guy's got more of the physicality side. It's a really strong partnership. Maybe the best player alongside of the new striker we had from last season, we are going to welcome in Silvestrini, coming in from AC Milan for 82 million, 19 goal contributions in his first season in England, apart from a little little stint at Portsmouth there, he has really developed well as a player. Can also play right back, but you need to work on that tackling because it is shambolic. But for a winger, he is an absolute unit. He's a very good winger, and we have welcomed in two big players, not only for the current, but also for the future. We're going to find ourselves in another Champions League final. This would be our fifth final, I think, or our fifth trophy attempt if we do get it done. And it's looking pretty likely, a goal inside of 1 minute and 17 seconds. I mean, any team we face in this competition, we seem to have a chance against. Whoever it is, we've got the players to do it. And I tell you what, that's really unlucky from Barcelona, this, because it's not a mistake that Cabell makes too often, but not great goalkeeping there. Ferguson takes full advantage. Barcelona try and sort of make an attack happen, but they just can't get it done. And Rizza is just never going to miss. It's another Champions League win. We sadly can't get the Premier League done, and it might be the one thing of this rebuild where, I mean, we've won 3, it's not bad, but we have come runners-up also 3 times, and, you know, winning 6 compared to 3 is obviously a lot different, but it's still a great season. We also managed to win the Community Shield again, which, you know, we have won now for the past 5 times back-to-back in 4-0 fashion over United. A semi-final exit against Arsenal. We've won that enough, in my opinion. The Carabao, or the FA Cup, sorry, United again in the 5th round. I think that's back-to-back. And, yeah, I mean, we have won so many of these Champions Leagues. We have won 5 Champions Leagues. The only thing we could have done better is winning a 6th. But 5 Champions Leagues, that is 50% of the seasons we've won a Champions League in. It's absolutely ridiculous, and the club as a whole, perfect reputation, and the trophy cabinet is now completely stacked. You have got a team that can stay with you, which I will say is ridiculous. Maatsen, a great season from these two. These two strikers, I genuinely believe, can score over 100 goals between them in a season. Quite easily as they develop, especially Rizza. Rizza has still got some development to do, so he can improve. You've got a great bench, and I imagine you've got a ridiculous budget as well. You've got 210 million. You've got a fair bit of net debt, but I mean, you don't need to spend money for about 2-3 seasons, so you can easily go again, and that is going to be the staple done. West Ham rebuilt over 10 years. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, make sure you are going over to the Patreon and signing up, because you get all of my tactics and rebuild files, including this one, and also access to this month's giveaway, which is a big one. So make sure you go and get involved, and I will see you in the next one.